Hello there, it's Jaymz Bee. Welcome to my vodcast every Friday here on YouTube, jaymzbee.ca. You can get little bits of it on Facebook. For the full interview, you want to skip ahead about 4 or 5 minutes. Bernardo Francisco Cisternas. I don't know how to say his name, but his name's Bernie. Bernie is a great sound man. He has been at number 9 for many years. He's freelance right now. He's kind of changing directions in a bit. But we're going to talk to a very interesting sound man. And I'll be doing this probably once a month, going to various studios and getting into the music business from a different angle. And next week, I have a music business executive coming in, but we'll talk about that later. First, here are the listings. Old Mill, Toronto. You want to get down to the Homesmith Bar. Sometime this weekend, cool things are happening. Tonight, Jim Clayton Trio. He is a wonderful pianist. Sings a bit too. He's got a trio, and Downbeat Magazine says, as a pianist, warm and happy, tender and soulful. That's really well said. I kind of like those downbeat writers. They get right to the crux of it. Yeah, he is a very happy, a great dad, a nice guy, and he plays real sensitive. So if you want a romantic date night, you want to get down there. I should also say, coming up in the next little bit though, Hilario Duran is there on Wednesday. Bruce Cassidy is there on Thursday. There's an interview with Bruce Cassidy from about a month or two ago. You can find it if you go to my website, jaymzbee.ca, click on podcast, and get a Bruce Cassidy interview. He's an amazing trumpet player. Okay, so everything at Homesmith Bar is 7:30 to 10:30, no cover, $20 minimum, and it's super classy. I took a bunch of people there last week, and they loved it so much. What else is happening? Hughes Room Live tonight, an album launch for Gold Cadillac. That is from Diana Braithwaite and Chris Whiteley. It's a brand new album. They're going to be celebrating it at Hughes Room, and there's another one happening on Sunday. Lance Anderson has a brand new CD called Matchadash Paris. It's a group that has about a dozen roots and blues giants all in one kind of super group. Some great guitar players there Saturday, a Bruce Springsteen tribute, a Beatles tribute, so much going on there. Check out HughesRoomLive.com because you're really going to want to see all the shit they have there, all the stuff they have there. It's great. Jazz Bistro, tonight and tomorrow. It's Erwin Hall. Erwin Hall is a great sax player. Been playing since he was 9 years old. He's easy on the eyes too. Very attractive young man. He's traveled the world. He's so interesting. He studied Eastern philosophy in Princeton. He was the assistant to a major magazine editor. He travels the world. He's played with Dee Bridgewater, John Legend, and others. So this guy is really a great sax player and a really interesting young player. So go down and check him out. Jazz Bistro tonight and tomorrow. And David Rebell is back to host a jazz jam on Wednesday. Jazzbistro.ca. Over at Luna Lounge, Havana Club Friday kicks off with Jorge Betancourt. I'm sorry if your name is Jorge. I'm pretty sure it's not. It's probably Jorge. And followed by Papiosco, who is a wonderful percussionist and band leader. It's going to be wild dancing there on Friday night. DJ Suave is on hand as always. Saturday, it's the Salsa Saturday with the Grand Columbia Orchestra. I've been to Colombia. I got to tell you, the food, the music, and the people, what a great place. And a whole orchestra full of Colombians, I'm in. Also, lots happening over there in the whole week, but I'm going to tell you, Women in Percussion, there's a little festival opening Thursday night, September, must be 26th, yeah. I can see there's a typo there. But anyway, yes, this Thursday, Women in Percussion at Lula Lounge. So Lula.ca, a quick thank you to Barbarian Steakhouse. Now that the TIFF is over, I will probably get down there and finally get that interview with Aaron Barbarian. Wild stories. That place has been open since 1959, and all the celebrities go there to eat, and he'll probably share a few stories. Barber Financial, thank you, Captain Paul. Paul has helped me with my finances. He can help you, big or small. Call Captain Paul. He's a wise guy. He's a nice guy, and you should just talk to him right now. Go onto his website, see what he does. Maybe he can help you with your finances. Especially if you have a company, the guy can help you out. And anyone on Patreon, thank you. Hola Salima, I love you. It's really cool that some people support me because they know I'm a freelance artist. And one of the things I'll be talking about to some of these musicians and people in the record business is what's happening with the record business. Musicians are making less money than ever. So things like Patreon, GoFundMe, all the things people are doing to try to keep going, every bit you can help. $5 a month, anything you can do. everybody wins. So I'm really, really appreciative for Patreon for existing and for all the people who donate. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go talk to Bernie, the incredible sound man, still at number 9 once in a while, but he is freelance, and we're gonna find out about the music business and his whole career in about 15 minutes. Well, it'll last 15 minutes. It's gonna happen now. Bernardo Francisco Cisternas. Hi, Bernie.
Interviewed by you?
Yeah. Hey, first of all, how do you pronounce your full name?
Bernardo Francisco Cisternas.
Cisternas.
Yes.
There we go. What is that?
Chilean.
Chilean.
Yes.
Were you born there or born here?
Born here.
And
Born here.
when did you figure out that you wanted to be on a soundboard and actually producing and mixing?
When I was in a band, when I was from 14 to 18, I was playing in bands, and I was always the guy that wanted to do the sound, figure out how to record it, and that fascinated me. I thought it was an amazing thing to be able to accomplish, and that was more fun to me a lot of times than the gig itself.
And what did you play?
Drums.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when you started playing with buttons, did you actually have to go to get some lessons somewhere, or did you go hands-on?
My beginnings were a bit unorthodox for most because I never did take a course. I went from doing co-op in high school in a studio, which happened to be number 9 at the old location, and I worked so hard that they hired me. And now, obviously, I'm just doing coffee and grunt work in this, but what I would do is go into the studio after my hours were done. So usually it was like 6 p.m. to midnight. I would be in there, either helping or doing. And so I learned the board, I learned all the stuff on my own, really. But yeah, it was something that I always had a knack for. So it wasn't, where most would say, well, that must be hard, must be this. It was always fun for me.
So how many years is that now? I mean, I know this has been around over 15 years.
Yeah.
Number 9.
That would have been 26 years ago. I started when I was like 17, 18, something like that. So.
Amazing. Yeah, I was going to say you're too young for that. So folk, jazz, even heavy metal. How do you approach these differently? How are they different from your side?
Well, it's funny because to me, sound is textures, tones. It's like a soundscape. It's like a painting. So you're telling me like, or when I'm mixing, getting sounds, it's about staying true to the genre. So I had to learn jazz because, to be honest, I'm not a jazzer, and I think that might have actually helped me in some ways because I don't have these conventions that may exist. And so for me, it's just what sounds good, what plays right, and that's of all genres. So no matter if it's a heavy band coming in, obviously you have an idea, and okay, it's got to be hard hitting, the drums got to punch. So you do factor those in, but at the end of the day, it has to sound good. And I know that's such an easy statement, but I mean, even if you're making something edgy, it can't be annoying. At the end of the day, it can have attitude, it can have all these things, but does it sound good?
Now, you don't have to name names, or you can, but what is an unusual thing you've had happen in the studio where you were like, I don't know if this is good or I'm comfortable? Any Spinal Tap moments?
Oh, there's been so many. I'm shocked that there's not a hidden camera type show for studios, or some reality show that's based in a studio, because there's so many moments. But I realized, if I wanted to capture those moments, the only way for them to be as funny as they are and as real as they are is if the person didn't know. Because, there has been a lot of Spinal Tap moments, and let's just say, I've worked with that band that was very Spinal Tap and even brought in the strippers and the cocaine and the this, and let's just say certain acts were performed to be recorded for the song and stuff like this. So there's been interesting moments for sure.
I got more out of you than I thought I would. That one. Yeah, that's rock, right? That's the way those guys do it. Did you do much sound for live clubs, or did you know you wanted to be more in the studio?
No, actually, I did do at least 6-7 years of sound, live sound, while still working in the studios. And as much as it made me crap my pants when I first started, because it is so much of the moment, and there is no such thing as let's try it again. whereas studio is such a controlled environment. That the show must go on. That you can never say I can't. So that was really good discipline for me, because it was like, okay, we got to start at this time, and this is what has to happen. Oh, the right PA just blew. Okay, let me hook up a monitor in place of the whatever it took, and that made my brain and my kind of way of troubleshooting a lot better.
So you're here in the studio. You're at number 9 right now.
Yeah.
I've seen you on the board, and this is why I wanted to interview you. You're really, really fast, and there's a lot of little things to do, and usually things are done before you can even notice it. Does it ever get in the way of you making good money because you're so fast that you're actually maybe not working as many hours?
That's a good point. Well, I've never viewed it that way, but you're right. I've been kind of given a little flack from the studio owner, who's like, okay, that could have easily been a 6-hour session that now is 4, But at the end of the day, I'd rather be efficient, have fun while we're doing it, and so dragging it out would not be fun to me. And at the end of the day, let the client leave with a few extra dollars in their pocket, and then come back and do a whole other album.
Exactly.
It all pays off at the end.
I love it. So you've been here for many years, but you are a freelance agent right now.
Yeah.
What are some other studios that you love, whether, and maybe small and large, like different size? What are some studios in town that you enjoy?
Well, so my situation's a bit unique as well, because I was the head engineer of number 9, and basically I've made the decision to leave music. And I'm not sure if you want to put this in.
No, it's great.
But yeah, like I've decided to leave music because love what I do, love the projects I've worked on and this, but to be honest, when I looked at my future 20 years from now, I didn't like what I saw. And the guys that are even more senior than I am and whatnot, I don't necessarily like what I see of their life and their struggle. And it's not, unfortunately, the music industry isn't a thing of seniority. It isn't a thing that, oh, you've put in a good 30 years, well, here's your extra pay, here's your... In fact, a lot of times it goes the other way, where you start to see diminishing returns. And even beyond that, it was also the type of gigs that were coming in. I was noticing way too much like hip-hop. Even if it wasn't hip-hop, it was also stuff where I found that people just don't have the skills, the talent, the discipline that they used to have. And so now it became, as the engineer, you got to make them sound good. And that starts making me go, okay, but that's not what I signed up for. And yes, can I do it? I can do it. But it's not what I want to do. I want to work with great people, great musicians. They do their job well, I do my job well, and together it all comes together in a beautiful, captured moment.
Well, seeing you work with the Tiki Collective was mind-blowing. 6 bed tracks in one day. It was really something.
Yeah, I know, and then you put together a beautiful lineup that, like I said, those are moments where I feel like I get to do what I do well. Meaning, you're giving me these great things to work with. Now I can polish it up and let it shine, let it be what it was.
So are you semi-retired? Well, you'll still come back and do a few things here and there, but your trajectory.
I want to be selective.
You got another plan though to make a living,
yeah.
Right?
I've built my own company, and it's nothing to do with music or sound. It's actually VR and AR, virtual reality, augmented reality. I see that as an emerging market. And for me, it was kind of exciting to enter something that's actually starting from the ground and moving this way, as opposed to something that's this way.
No doubt.
And, and believe me, it hurts to say these things, but these are truths.
Well, I think it's important for me to put this on a vodcast, because musicians are making less than they've ever made before.
Yeah.
I'm also making less money than I've ever made before.
Yeah.
I'm better at my job.
Exactly.
And like you said, seniority. It should work the other way.
It should.
But the music business is in really hard times.
It is, and that's why. And I would hear these great musicians that have a resume that would make you go, oh my gosh, and they're running to a gig to make $100 that night.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but that's a disrespect to me.
I agree. Well, so you're going to be still occasionally. We're going to see your name on things.
Yes.
I think there's probably a couple more Junos in store. You did pick up a Juno, didn't you?
Yeah, for a project way back when. Well, actually, it's one of those things where I'm never sure how to answer that question because I worked on an album. Did I get the Juno? Do you know what I mean? Like, do I call that as part of my thing?
I think if it won an award like best album of this, best this category, that category, if it won one of those, yes. Okay. If it was a fan choice award, hard to say. It's probably the band.
Sometimes the Junos have gone by and I wasn't even aware the albums I worked on won. It's never been my motivation or incentive.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not on social media. So I'm a very background guy. In the sense that I love what I do. I love watching people this. It's not that I'm antisocial per se, but I don't need the accolades. I need the feeling of a good job done.
Right, when the bands walk out the door and they're excited because they love what they have.
Then to me it's like, wow, that was my Juno right there.
Well, I hope you keep at it because you are amazing. Cheers. All right. Next week, nepotism. I don't mean Nepotism Records. I mean Vesuvius Music Inc. My business partner Lorenzo, he's been out there finding bands and making music happen, and I want to get his take on the music business. I think it's going to go back and forth, you know. A couple of people are positive, a couple of people are negative. Everybody's being real. So I hope you'll join me next week. We'll talk to Lorenzo de Gianfelice. See you.